Hello dear students, welcome back in the second session. Today we are going to deal with the past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is the second grammar point that we are going to deal with in Unit 4. So, yesterday we had taken the past perfect continuous and today we are going to take the past perfect, okay? So, let's see what is the past perfect. The past perfect consists of had, because we are talking about the past, so we have had plus the verb in the past participle. What's the meaning of the past participle? It means the third part of the verb. Do you remember that we have taken the infinitive form of the verb? We have the past and then we have the past participle. Okay, let's revise. So we have, for example, the verb see, which is in the infinitive. We have the verb saw, which is in the past. And we have the verb seen, which is in the past participle. So mainly we use had plus the PP of the verb. We call it PP. Okay, and we'll find that had is used with all the subjects, like I say I had, I say he had, she had, it had, we had, they had, and you had. So had plus the PP. Okay, what is the usage of the past perfect? The past perfect is a completed action before something in the past. Completed action. It means that there are two actions that happened in the past, and these two actions, one of them happened before the other, and this tense or this action happened and finished and it was completed in the past. But you will tell me, Mrs. Shaima, but the past perfect continuous, it's the same. Yes, it's the same, but the past perfect continuous took longer action in the past. Do you remember when I told you in the class that all the time when we mention the word continuous, it means it took longer action, like the present and the present continuous. Do you remember? Okay, so, number two, we can differentiate between them by using the time expressions. For example, we said yesterday that the time expressions for the past perfect continuous are, we have all day. When I mention all day, so this means that it continued to a period of time. When I say 4 days, it's the same, 4 days, for a week, for a month. When I say since 4 o'clock, so 4 o'clock was in the past and it was a longer time, but when I say at the time, okay, so both of them are somehow they are the same, but the past perfect took shorter time than the past perfect continuous. For example, she only understood the movie because she had read the book. So do you think reading the book took a time in the past, which is the first action here, and understanding the movie, okay, it is the second action. So she had read the book, okay, and she understood the movie. Because she had read the book, she understood the movie very much. Okay, so I had never seen such a beautiful sunset before I went to Hawaii. Okay, so it never happened that I seen something like that before I went to Hawaii. Okay, so if I want to say again, what is the usage of the past perfect? It's a completed action before something in the past. So two actions that happened in the past, one of them happened first and it was completed before the other one happened. So this is the dot, it means that it was completed before the other action happened. So the past perfect expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. Okay, so the second usage, I mentioned the duration before something in the past. So I'm going to tell what is the time, how long does it take. So we had owned our car for 10 years before it finally died. Okay, for 10 years before it finally died. Okay, so this means that owning the car, it took the time, or it was the first action, and then what happened to the car? It finally died or broke down. Okay, so it doesn't work anymore. So they had married for 5 years when they had their first child. So their marriage, or they got married in the past and then they had their child. Okay, there are some time expressions that we have to know very well. Okay, so we have after, we have before, we have by the time, and we have as soon as well as when. Okay, so to make it easier for you, I'll make here two sisters and other two sisters. Okay, the first two sisters are after, because it begins with a. So guess, what is the second sister? Is it before, by the time, as soon as, or when? Perfect. It's as soon as. Why did we choose as soon as? Because it begins with a, like after. So if we said what, who are the first two sisters? They are after and they are as soon as. Perfect. And the second sisters, guess. I gave you the clue. Perfect. We have before because it begins with B, and by the time because it begins also with B. So the second two sisters here are before and by the time, and poor when, it's alone. She doesn't have any sisters or brothers. Okay, so let's see, when do we use after and as soon as? We said before that we use the past perfect to talk about an action that happened before another one in the past, and the first action here is always in the past perfect, and the second action that happened is in the past simple. Okay, so what will happen if you put after and as soon as at the beginning of the sentence? So they tell you that if we put after and as soon as at the beginning of the sentence, what do we put after them? The first action that happened or the second action? Perfect. We put the first action, which is the past perfect, which is the what? The past perfect. So the past perfect indicates the first action, and then we put the second action, that is the past simple. Very good. So, and what will happen if we put after and as soon as, like this example, in the middle? Oh, what did we say? We said that after and as soon as, they are followed by the first action or the past perfect. So all the time I close my eyes and think. Very good. After as soon as, I put after them what? The first action, which is in the past perfect, but before them I put the past simple, which is the second action. Okay, let it be clearer here. We have two examples. So they say, after I had done my homework, I watched TV. So let's think, what is the first action that happened first? Doing the homework or watching TV? Very good. So I think that doing the homework is the action that happened first, and the second one, I watched TV. So what is the key word that we have here, or the time expression? We have after. We said that after I put what? The past perfect. Very good. So after I had done my homework, I watched TV, which is the second action. What might happen if I put after in the middle? If I put after in the middle, what follows it? The first action. So had done. So I say I watched, which is the second action, as we put here. So I watched TV after I had done my homework. It means that doing the homework happened before watching TV. And it's the same with as soon as. I can put as soon as here instead of after. I can say, as soon as I had done my homework, I watched TV. Or, I watched TV as soon as I had done my homework. Okay, let's see what is the usage of before and by the time. We said that they are two sisters. Both of them begin with the letter B, before and by the time. So they are the opposite. If before and by the time came at the beginning of the sentence, I don't put the first action, I put the second action, which is the past simple, and then I put the first action, which is the past perfect. And if they came in the middle, what do I put after them? We said before or by the time. Whether they came at the beginning or in the middle, what do I put after them? I put the past simple or the second action, and I put before them the past perfect or the first action. Let's practice here. We say before. What did we say about before? What do we put after them? The first action or the second action? Yes, the second action, which is past or past perfect. It's past. So before I went. So this is the past simple. I went, the second action, to the club. I had cleaned the house. So do you think the action of cleaning the house happened first or going to the club? Very good. The action of cleaning the house happened first and then we went to the club. So before I went to the club, I had cleaned the house. Okay, and what we will do here if we have before in the middle? What do we put after before? I put the second action, which is the past simple, and of course I put the first action before it. So I had cleaned the house before I went to the club. With when, it's very easy. When is like before and by the time. After when, all the time I put the past simple after it, or the second action. Okay, so after when, it's like before, and by the time we put the past simple, which is the second action, and before it I put the past perfect. So we said that the past perfect consists of had plus the PP. What will happen if we put it in the negative form? It's very easy, as we had taken in the past perfect continuous. I put had plus not, and then I put the verb in the past participle. Or I put hadn't, this is the contraction or the short form, plus the verb in the past participle. For example, the teacher hadn't or had not finished correcting papers when the students started to arrive. Do you remember the keyword or the time expression when? I use it before it. I use the past perfect and then I use the past simple after it. Okay, let's see the question form. We said that we put had plus the subject plus the verb in the past participle. So had is always at the beginning. So had she finished cleaning home when her parents arrived at school? The answer with yes, I'll say yes, she had finished, or yes, she had. With the negative, I say no, she hadn't finished, or no, she hadn't. Okay, now let's see some examples here. So I say Karen space finish making dinner by the time her husband came home. So can you find any time expressions or keywords? We have by the time. Do you remember her sister? Yes, it's before. What did we say about by the time and before? We said that after them I put the second action or the past simple. Very good. If you looked at this example, you find by the time I put which action is the shorter action or the second action? It's her husband came. And what's the first action, which is the past perfect? It's had finished. Okay, the same with the second example. When I arrived, you remember when? Yes, it's like by the time and before. When they come, I put after them the past simple. So when I arrived at the store, its space closed already. So the answer, it had closed. This means that the closing action is or happened before arriving or coming to the store. We have other examples. I had never seen such a beautiful beach before I went to Kauai. Okay, so let's see before. Do you remember before? Yes, after before I put the second action, and before it I put the first action. All the time the first action is in the past perfect, had seen. And what is the second action? I went to Kauai. Okay, so this is before. I did not have any money because I had lost my wallet. So this is extra for you, that after because I put the past perfect like as soon as and after. So this is extra for you. I can put because I had. This is the first action and this is the second action. Tony knew Istanbul so well because he had visited the city several times. So because here is one of the time expressions, okay, and after them after it I put the past perfect or the first action. Had Susan, this is in the question form, had Susan ever studied Thai before she moved to Thailand? Okay, so you will find here I started with had and then we have the PP of the verb. She only understood the movie because she had read the book. What did we say about because? Perfect, it's like as and by the, and after, and as soon as. I put after it the first action or the past perfect. Okay, Christine had never been to an opera before last night. So before, what did we say about before? I put the first action and then the first action first. Okay, we were not able to get a hotel room because we had not booked in advance. So because, I put the past perfect after it and the past simple after it. Had you ever visited the US before your trip in 2006? Yes, I had been to the US once before. Okay, so I want you to watch the video very well, okay, and then try to answer the book. It's the grammar book, page 48. You are going to answer exercise 1 and 2 only, and the next day, tomorrow, I'm going to upload you the answers. So please do the homework today and wait for the answers tomorrow to check if you were right or wrong. As I told you, I am available every day from 8 to 9 a.m. See you. Bye.